Hello, gamers, and welcome to a gaming news update. And I have to say this, but Helldivers 2 is killing it right now. I mean, the game has it's only been like a week and nearly a week and a half, nearly 2 weeks. By Friday by Thursday it'll be 2 weeks. But the game is already dominating Steam right now. It's the second biggest selling game on Steam with over, what is it, over 400, over nearly 400K. Nearly, what apparently I'm hearing is that we're hitting the 400K mark. Like, there's a lot of people playing Helldivers 2 into the point that there's now articles coming out that are saying that Helldivers 2 is beating is literally, I'm not even kidding. It is literally beating Destiny 2 in terms of player counts right now. As of basically Saturday, it had over 333K, 824,000 players. You literally playing this game through Steam, and it's probably got way more players than other PlayStation Studio first party titles that have published on Steam since PlayStation brought their titles to Steam. Helldivers 2 is dominating, and that is saying something. The fact that it's beating Destiny 2 and it's approaching the popularity of Power World really does go to show how much excitement this game's got, and the fact that it's reached over 400K on Sunday recently, just yesterday, that just shows that Helldivers 2 is where it's at right now. It's becoming like the all-time player peak that is beating Destiny 2 and is now approaching the Power World success. However, though, despite those successes, there has been some survey issues, which luckily Arrowhead have said that they are working tirelessly to get it, to sort out the cap city for these surveys. They've increased it for their best efforts, but they are going to continue. They are going to continue to basically improve the issue as much as possible. So definitely stay tuned for updates from them later in the week. They also promised they're going to be sorting out the matchmaking issues that players have been having. Luckily, I found a workaround to be able to make it work. But for the meantime, however, though, they're hoping to hopefully get it all sorted soon. I hope so. You'll be able to, hopefully we'll be able to match properly soon in Helldivers 2, which would be nice. But there you go. So that's some really good news about Helldivers, that the game is dominating Steam. It's beating Destiny 2's all-time Steam peak, which basically just goes to show that Destiny 2 is getting his ass kicked by Helldivers, and Helldivers has literally become the new Destiny for a lot of people. And you can't really blame them for saying that. And then on top of that, we found out that Ubisoft have had over 700 workers striking in France because of failed salary negotiations. So apparently, there's been this sort of debate about the fact that they haven't been, some of the employees haven't been paid very well on Valentine's Day recently. So there's been a lot of debates going on in France between many of the workers in Ubisoft who have been protesting to try and get their salary sorted, and Ubisoft, certain members of the Ubisoft executives are obviously not listening. So luckily, hopefully, they failed to achieve that goal. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of it over the next coming months. But yeah, this has been a report that's been ongoing since this morning, and hopefully we'll be hearing more updates over the course of the week, I hope. Respawn are apparently reported to be working on the Bounty Hunter Medallion game, which is the Star Wars Medallion game, which is going to be a first-person title when it does release. So this is the team that are also behind the Star Wars Jedi series and Apex Legends. So it'll be very interesting to see what their first-party experience Star Wars game is going to look like when they eventually get round to revealing it, which I would imagine it will be this summer. We'll hear something about this game. There's even talks that Capcom, in regards to Capcom making $70 games, Dragon's Dormant 2 might not be the last of them. There might be more to come, which, as the price reviews are being considered by Capcom, which I know that's going to concern a lot of people when they hear that report. We also found out that we've got some games coming to PlayStation Plus tomorrow. Need for Speed Unbound, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, The Outer Worlds. There's some big titles that are finally coming to PlayStation Plus alongside classic titles, which includes Resistance Rebellion. You got Jet Rider 2, Tales of the Sunfire, Tales of the Vermont, just to name some of the classic games that are going to be coming to PlayStation Plus Premium beginning tomorrow if you want to play any of those classics from the PlayStation old days that are going to be making their way to the service. From Software have now got ownership of the Elder Ring IP, which means they're now in charge of the game, which also probably means that they're also in charge of the DLCs for Elder Ring 2, which means they're probably going to be in charge of the upcoming DLC that Elder Ring's working on. So we'll probably be hearing some news hopefully soon about what they're doing with the game. There's also some news that Sony have share dropped sharply after predicting the PS5 growth has peaked. So it looks like that the shares are going to be plummeting in regards to PS5 sales because they said recently that it's in the latter half of its life cycle. So they're starting to see a decline of hardware sales for PS5. So yeah, that's been happening recently, which is very, very telling. And speaking of Sony, they've actually won some awards for Marvel Spider-Man 2, as well as Baldur's Gate 3 that got Game of the Year at the DICE Awards just this past weekend for those who want to know who became Game of the Year. And by the way, Baldur's Gate has got a new update out if you want to download it, where they fixed it a lot of things just recently. Now, speaking of Microsoft, luckily Microsoft have actually got some really exciting updates for us, particularly the fact that Phil Spencer has told an Xbox fan that there's going to be a major xCloud feature coming this year where it's going to allow you to play your own games through the cloud, which is going to be a feature that we're going to be seeing through xCloud in 2024. At least that's what Phil Spencer has confirmed to an Xbox fan just recently. This is going to be coming to us coming at some point this year, where Phil Spencer has promised this for all Xbox players. Ubisoft have also released a free Skull and Bone dynamic background for Xbox Series X if you want to pay homage to the game that's just released to the was only just come out to the world, which is Skull and Bones. Xbox has also won awards at the DICE, which is for Starfield and Hi-Fi Rush. But mainly it was for Motorsports that got the Racing Game of the Year, as they became the Racing Game of the Year for DICE this year, was Hi-Fi Rush and Starfield. Were unsuccessful of winning any awards this time around. Banish, the Ghosts of New Eden's been getting a lot of amazing feedback on Xbox, so it's getting a lot of love on the Xbox platform as it comes out, obviously very, very soon. I mean, it's only just come out, in fact, so the game's been getting a lot of love there. Xbox have also said that they're committing still to console gaming, even though there's a couple of questions that need to be said about it. They also talked about game preserves and say that players should be confident on building a digital library, so they're very committed to that. They also mentioned that they had over 34 million subscribed to Game Pass, and they are committed to keeping the service exclusively to Xbox going forward. And then on top of that, we may have got an idea of which games are coming to other platforms this year in terms of PlayStation, Xbox, in terms of, well, PlayStation, Nintendo, in regards to Xbox games that are going to be coming to other platforms. So there's going to be 4 games that are coming. They didn't say specifically in the podcast, but it's been reported that the games in question are Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, Pandemons, and Grounded. So these are the games that are currently being considered to be the upcoming Xbox titles to be made available on PlayStation and Nintendo Switch in 2024, which is very interesting. So at some point this year, we're going to be seeing these games coming to PlayStation and Switch, which is very interesting. And also Phil Spencer mentions it's going to drive community driven. It's going to be games that are community driven that he wants to add to these platforms, and it makes sense that those are the games because they're community driven right now. Sea of Thieves, Pandemons, well, Sea of Thieves and Grounded specifically are community driven, so it makes sense to have those on other platforms. And also the fact that the announcement's not too far away in terms of their release dates for these games on PS5 and Nintendo Switch. So we should be hearing more about this very, very soon in terms of their plans to bring them on these platforms. And in fact, they even confirmed in this podcast that they're going to be revealed, they're going to have another showcase in June, which is their Xbox annual summer showcase. That will be returning in June for any fans who are interested. We also found out that Alan Wake 2 was the fastest selling game and is now an established franchise, which is good to hear that they're getting a lot of establishment since their game came out in October. And then also Xbox is reminding fans that there are more than 10 major releases coming this year. We know that Helldivers 2 is coming, Avowed's coming, Diablo 4's expansion, Indiana Jones, Arion, just to name a few games that are currently going to be talked about later this year by Xbox. And speaking of Diablo 4, it is coming to Game Pass on March the 28th. On the 28th of March, it will be the first Activision Blizzard game to be made available on Xbox and PC Game Pass. So, and they have promised there will be more to come very soon. So definitely keep your eyes peeled because there is going to be a lot more Activision titles coming to Game Pass very soon for those who really want. And they've even said there's going to be an exciting new hardware news that will be revealed, maybe released in holiday 2024. So there is another hardware coming, which many people are speculating it's going to be the newly refreshed Xbox Series X or whatever they're going to call it at the end of the year, which is going to be interesting. So yeah, these are just a couple of the things that Xbox are planning for later this year as they plan to bring these titles to the platform. And yeah, it's like I say, it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to come out of it. And of course, we've got the Final Fantasy 14 online beta that's going to kick off this week on Xbox for those who want to play Final Fantasy online. And then for Game Pass, they're going to have Tales of Arise, Return to Grace, adding Linecore 1.0. They're going to be coming coming this week to Xbox Game Pass for those who want to play those during throughout the service. But nevertheless, that is at least a glimpse at some of the upcoming content that is to come on Xbox, which is very interesting. That we're hearing a lot of interesting things about some games that they're bringing to other platforms, as well as what they're working on in terms of future releases. And speaking of PlayStation, back to the PlayStation topic, they are releasing a beta right now for a new update, which is going to add a DualSense controller sound enhancements and share screen interactions that you can now do interactions with your share screen. And they're also going to sort out the brightness of your power indicator for PS5. So they're going to allow you to reduce the brightness, which is nice. And also they're sort of improving the noise cancellation on the controllers now to make it a little bit more easier to control, which is great. So these are just some of the features that will be coming to the new PS5 update, which should be coming out sometime early spring as they get ready for more major releases for the PS5. And hopefully we'll be hearing more about when this update releases on the PS5 if you're looking to try these new features. And speaking of another PlayStation game, Forever Skies will be exclusive to PlayStation. And they've done a whole article talking about this game that's going to be coming out later this year. It's a sci-fi survivor game that's going to be releasing on the platform, which I think might do very well, despite the fact it is going to be exclusive to PlayStation. But nevertheless, these are all the major news really. So the main news being is that Helldivers 2 is kicking ass. It's doing very well. The game is getting a lot of love, and I've got a lot more gameplay coming from this game over the course of the next few weeks. So definitely keep an eye on my channel if you want to see more Helldivers 2. And yeah, Let me know what you guys think of the game in the comment section below, and hopefully I'll get to hopefully build some friends on Helldivers, and as well as my existing friends. Hopefully I'll build some friendships on Helldivers too as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.